Final review, Skins UK. It's the best teen drama ever. Like, and you can already tell that it's the best teen drama ever when you realize that it is the only teen drama to cast teenagers as teenagers, whereas like Euphoria, which is the second best teen drama, Zendaya is 26. She was 23 when the show started playing. I'm gonna assume a 17-year-old, and while she can pull off looking 17, she doesn't. She's young looking like that. It's just not as authentic. Plus, she's been famous. Let me just like clear my throat and all. Okay, sorry about that. My cold is over, but I still have like the side effects, or it's over, but there is still some stuff remaining, like bad throat and uh not block nose, but I just have to clear my, or I have to blow my nose a lot. Um. Anyway, Zendaya was famous for years before Euphoria started, from doing Casey Undercover, the Spider-Man, whereas bar Nicholas Hoult, no one had much experience. Never mind being famous for acting, and some of them went on to be massive stars, like Nicholas Hoult, Dev Patel, Daniel, however you pronounce his last name, etc. Uh, when it comes to the generations, no, that was another thing that was great about the show. They didn't drag it on. Um, but when it comes to the generations, one is my favorite. I understand why two is most people's favorite, and I get why people think that three sucks. But I loved three, even though I initially didn't. Like I was only continued watching three because I liked Frankie, but then I came around and started liking the other characters. But speaking of free, I watched a bunch of videos about stuff on Gen Free and other things. So while this is irrelevant to UK Skins, SNL did a sketch about the cancellation of Skins America because there was an American reboot. Where Andy Samberg from Brooklyn Nine-Nine plays the head of MTV, which is the channel that did Skins America, saying that, oh, by now you've probably heard that our show Skins got cancelled because the American audience perceives the American Skins as child porn for some reason, despite the fact that they cast 20-year-olds as the teenagers, but whatever. Like, they don't have a problem watching UK Skins when the actors having sex in UK Skins are younger than the actors having sex in America Skins. I don't understand that. Like, I get their age of consent is higher than ours, but it just doesn't make sense to me. But it's just, I've actually commented on the video saying, tell me if you've ever heard of Skins UK. If I tell me you've never heard of Skins UK, because they just don't seem to understand what the purpose of Skins is. And the sketch was very repetitive. It was just, it was just, oh, since all our advertisers pulled out, we now have to do like sponsorship and product placement and all. So it's basically just Skins, but the condoms that you're using are product placement. The drinks that they're drinking, product placement. The weed that they're smoking, product placement. And it's just your typical SNL cringe. I also watched a video about Skins versus Euphoria. And while I do love the technical term is formalism for what Euphoria is like, where it's more unrealistic. like that bit where Rue was dancing in that room that was spinning, stuff like that. That's called formalism, whereas Skins is the opposite. That's called realism. I call excuse me before I learned the name formalism. I called Euphoria's style theatrics because like a movie I love called Grand Piano that done a similar thing where like the show how stressed the main character is. They had the camera sort of do a 1080 while like a bunch of colors were the lighting changed. My dad saw that one. It was like a couple seconds, but dad saw that one bit. Wow, that's crap. But it was great because it was showing his emotional state. But when it comes to teen dramas, I feel like that I love formalism, love Euphoria style, but I feel like when it comes to teen dramas, realism is better because it's supposed to appeal to teenagers. It's supposed to be relatable. um. Oh, I should give credit to the video. The video was made by Sophie Foster, and near the end she said that both season one of Euphoria and this video was made when Euphoria was only on season one. Like Christmas specials didn't even air at the time the video was made. Anyway, end of season one of Euphoria and then season one of Skins both had a song, like a dance. Euphoria ended with All For Us by Zendaya and Labyrinth. And Skins ended with Wild World by Cat Stevens, I think. And Sophie had said that Euphoria was better because it made more sense of the story. No, it didn't. I don't remember what happened before she started singing All For Us, but just Skins, Wild World made more sense to Skins than All For Us made for Euphoria. Another video that I watched was The Third Generation, a Skins retrospective by Yahara Zaid, Z-A-Y-D. And it is a good video. Like, it does put things into perspective. Like, Nick from Gen 3. I didn't know who he was until Minnie's episode. Because I looked through the season to see who was coming up next, and I saw Nick. I was thinking, like, that's the only character. Like, after you watch the first episode of Gen 3, Nick is the only character that you don't know who has an episode dedicated to them. But when it comes to Gen 1, in the first episode, which was centered on Tony, you knew who everyone was from a couple of minutes. But I saw episode 1 about 2 years ago, so I didn't remember much. The only thing I remember from episode 1 is the end. Like, I remember a bit at the start. I remember Mad Twatter just existing. And I remember the end when the crash into the river or whatever. But when it comes to Gen 3, at the end of the first episode, you have no idea who Nick is. At the end of the second episode, which was about Rich, you see Nick, and I thought he was gay because he was hanging out with the girls, and he's wearing like a purple outfit, and you I thought he was gay. But then when it comes to Minnie's episode, at the very start, you see photos of them together pinned up on her wall, and it's very clear that he is her boyfriend. So that's when you realize who Nick is. But the retrospective video by Yahara said that Skins started to go downhill when Freddy died, because that was unrealistic. Apparently, I don't think it is. Oh, because believe it or not, therapists do get attached to their patients, because that's what happened. Like the only another problem was the fact that Frankie changed for no reason, or no in-universe reason, between seasons 5 and 6. I didn't have a problem with that, because I thought that, Minnie must have made Frankie more feminine, or Frankie just changed like that because of her hanging around with Minnie and Liv and Grace. But no, what happened was that the American remake just ruined the British show. So, right, Skins is created by two people, Brian Elsley and Jamie Britton, who are father and son. After season 3, Brian left to go work on Skins America. So Jamie was doing it on his own. So he did seasons 4 and 5 on his own. And then I think he left after season 5. And Brian came back for season 6. And Brian was doing season 6 on his own. And instead of he wanted it to be sexy. And April Pearson, who plays Michelle in Gen 1, has a podcast called Are You Michelle from Skins, where she has interviewed some people from the show, even people that she never worked with. And she was interviewing Dakota Boy Richards, who plays Frankie. And she said that she came out wearing a 60s swimsuit, like a really old swimsuit. And it made sense to Frankie's character for her to wear that. But then Brian said, no, get something sexier. So he just wanted to be sexy, when it made no sense to Frankie's character. Speaking of Frankie, after I watched the first episode, I looked up if she was trans or not, because based off the website, Frankie, what was it? Frankie ain't gone to fanny.com. I thought, maybe, there is, she was bullied. You know that from watching it, but you don't know exactly what happened. So from that name, I assumed that what happened was that everyone believed that she was a girl, but then someone accidentally or on purpose pulled down her pants and saw a penis and went, wait, that's a guy. So I looked up if she was trans, and it came up. Frankie has been confirmed as gender fluid or whatever. That's not true. The fan base has deemed her gender fluid or whatever. And I just have something to say to the fan base. I thought you were against labels. If it's evil for me to call a trans person, if it's evil for me to dead name a trans person, isn't it evil for you to decide whether or not Frankie is gender fluid? Should not be up for her to decide. So no, Frankie is not gender fluid. She is just a very I don't want to say masculine, but she's somewhere in the middle. And while that is what gender fluidity or slash non-binaryism is, you cannot call her that unless she says that's what she is. Because that is the equivalent of dead naming. More videos that I watched was the remake that couldn't Skins US, also by Ihara Said, but there's not much to say there because that's exclusively about Skins US, which I haven't seen. I do plan on seeing it, so if I do, if I can get access to it, I will make a video. I'll obviously make a review, and if I don't like the show, and I will watch 2 episodes to see if I like it or not, because I didn't like the first episode of UK. I am gonna talk about the remake that couldn't. Something else that was great about Skins UK is the fact that they were very. I hate to say this because this makes me sound like an old person, but they were contemporary. You know, if Skins were still around in 2018, they would have all the characters would have TikTok accounts in 2018, whereas other shows didn't start mentioning TikTok till about 2019 at the earliest. And even then, it was just saying TikTok so that so that they can say, "Hey, we know what TikTok is. We're modern," like Brooklyn Nine-Nine did. That's because I was watching an episode this morning. They aired in 2021, but doing like wee webisodes, as other shows call them, when no other teen drama did it before because they weren't really around back then, and it wasn't really easy to do back before Skins aired, because those other teen dramas aired before YouTube existed, and I get that they weren't uploaded to YouTube. The fans uploaded on YouTube, they were uploaded to the E4 website, which is terrible because if they weren't uploaded to YouTube, and they are all uploaded to YouTube bar one, I wouldn't be able to watch any of them because I'm watching it 15 years after it aired. So the only one that I couldn't get access to is Frankie's Animation. If I go to okay, so I watched these ones last night. I get the order that I'm watching them in is very bad, but anyway, yeah, it's the only one I'm missing. I think the pictures for it is out of order for some reason, so that's not what Frankie's Animation is. That's Emily and Katie's brother's video diary. I'm going to assume that this is the animation that they show in the show, and that it isn't something different, so maybe I have seen it. This is the longest review that I've ever done. Seraph, however you pronounce it, of the end. No ratings, no cast. It's good. Forgot to mention I watched it on Netflix. So, this Twitter as of 17 to 11 a.m. on Monday the 6th or 7th. 6th of June 2022. I had to end Saturday's video early because my brother came into the room when he said he'd be an hour before he came back, but he wasn't because he was at the disco thing, the reception. Anyway. So some of the stuff I might have read out before. The most important decision you make is to be in a good mood. Voltaire. Whatever. Never thought I'd live to see the day when the right wing would become the cool ones, giving the middle finger to the establishment, and the left wing would become the snivelling, self-righteous, twatty ones going around shaming everyone. To be honest, I'm not surprised. I think that, like, eventually it will swing around again to where the left wing will be sticking the middle finger to the establishment, and the right wing becoming the snivelling, self-righteous 21s going around shaming everyone. And it will just keep on going back and forth until the end of civilization. That's Sam Officer. That's the man who used the word cunny, not a comic, not a sports take. They're getting dragged for, getting dragged in the quote tweets, sir. Yeah, I've shown this, and I think they're unironically one of the greatest satires of the age. And I've posted this on my Instagram that Burger King Austria has a Pride Whopper. So that's what it is. So the Pride Whopper is different from a Whopper because you can either have two bottoms or two tops, which I'm going to assume is metaphorical of same-sex relationships. So, say that the tops, these, the round ones with the sesame seeds, are men, and the bottoms, the flat ones, are women. What about trans people? Behold our newest ad campaign. Tasty. Are you sure this will help us sell more burgers? Burgers? The amount of times that I've had to quote this comic, this masterpiece that was released probably 5 years ago, is crazy because it keeps happening. And that is exactly what I posted next to it. Don't ever call the bloody leader of China, Winnie the Pooh, Giga Chad ever again. You want to make a movie? Okay, you make a movie, you follow rule. I'm not gonna do it in Chinese accent, mispronounce and stuff. It's simple. You want to make a movie, follow rule. No Winnie Pooh. No American number one. No Hong Kong independent. No blacks. No no homo butt sexes. Okay, it's simple. Follow rule, make a movie. And Disney turned around and said no, and then made two fantastic MCU movies. Because something that this person has left out is no magic. So any movie that Doctor Strange is in will immediately get banned in China. So No Way Home and Doctor Strange 2, both banned in China, went on to make billions each. Because that's why movies are pathetic now, because they're selling out to China. But it's hard to, you can't, they're trying to be both progressive and sell out to China at the same time, but that's impossible because you're not, if you want to sell out to China, you can't have any black people, and you can't have any gay people. You also can't have any Muslims. So it's hard to do both. But not Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange did have a same-sex couple, even though it was only for like 12 seconds. But No Way Home had, it didn't sell it to China, and it also wasn't progressive, and it made over $1 billion. By the way, I don't have a problem with the same-sex couple in Doctor Strange, America's Parents. I didn't even notice it. I don't know how the Saudi Arabian audience noticed it and banned the movie, but whatever. I should have realized that America had a same sex parents, because that's the whole point of America. It's just called right. America Chavez was created in 2015, I think, because that's when Marvel got political, and America represents what Marvel wants the country of America to represent. So, in just basically inclusivity. Two bottoms, two tops. What are these gay burgers supposed to be doing? Burgers? Yeah, that's another thing. If you have two dominant people having sex, how is that going to work? Because to have sex, one of them has to submit, and two bottoms, same thing. 2A was written to protect people from tyrannical governments back then, and I'm sure if the final followers were here today, they still would want no restrictions. A drone will flatten 5,000 Texans with AR-15s in a heartbeat. You realize that drones don't come with AR-15s? Like, drones have bombs, and they bomb people. Oh, you mean the Texans have AR-15s, right? The defense from the government argument, ship sailed long ago. But the government has tanks and jets. How do you beat that? Shit, you're covering with pebble yeet. You get used to it, then you start enjoying seeing people angry at it. Whereas I didn't need to get used to it because I agree with pebble yeet. r/d trans. That seems like a very transphobic subreddit. Let's read this out. I miss my breasts so much, so I'm going to assume that this is a trans man. I'm sitting in bed crying because I just miss my breasts so much. I got top surgery when I was 18. I'm 27 now. Even if I get implants, they won't actually be mine. I want mine back. Not only were they mine, but they were great looking. I will never have them back. Never. I never ever thought this would happen to me. I was always 100% sure I made the right decision. But the past couple of years, I finally realized, and it's so hard to comprehend this and accept that I'm going through a mourning period right now over my old body. I miss it so much. I look at girls nowadays, any girl at all, and I'm completely jealous. At least they still have their natural body. I feel like an imposter. Like, I can't even claim that I'm actually a girl, even though I am. My voice is screwed. I have no boobs. I'm constantly worried about passing as a female, even though I am one. I feel so much regret in seeing me alive. That's why you don't become trans at 18, right? Legally, you're an adult, but you still aren't mature enough to go for that decision. It's been nearly half an hour, and I haven't even got the markets yet. So why is Arabs trending? No reason apparently. I'm finding hard to speak because of my throat. Who is Spanglish? Let me guess, is it Boris because Partygate? Look at that. Tories. What are Tories? Something Tories. What Tories? Oh, whoops. Ah, Pretty Patel, the fascist. What? Why is Pretty Patel trending? What fascist things have she done now? I don't actually know what Pretty Patel has done to be called a fascist. I'm going to assume that she is. Actually, she has done something that is fascist. But the people who protested her support people like Nicola Sturgeon, who I guarantee is worse. Because there's just no way that you can be more tyrannical than Nicola Sturgeon. Why is Theresa May trending almost 3 years after she left? He hasn't mentioned Theresa May in this tweet. Why is this the first thing to pop up? Also, I'm going to assume that this guy says, oh, we want Theresa back. No, Theresa is way worse than Boris. Like, Boris did Partygate and a bunch of really bad stuff, mostly because of Corona. But I guarantee you that if Theresa were PM, you know, that if she'd never resigned in 2019, she would have been more tyrannical about lockdowns and all that. And she would have been partying for way longer. The Bonnie Banks. It's an ocean or sea, river, whatever. No, I do not want to reply to this tweet. No, I do not want to reply to this tweet. I want to see the thread. No. When trying to make nice matching photos didn't go as planned. For a second, I thought she was asleep. Tell me about it. This is from today's Moments Before Disaster. That face knows what's coming. For God's sake, come on. I'm not gonna bother climb a throw or anything. I'm just gonna continue like this. I recognize that face. I'll take it. I also have to breathe pretty heavily through my mouth because of my nose. If it's me for you and Sue, do with them what you will. The first one's my favourite. Yeah. All these were correct. I think that's what you call a happy family. I wouldn't know. Don't take your kids to drag shows. That's not even a drag show, that's Hooters. But yeah, don't take your kids to a drag show or Hooters. Because you might as well just take your child to like a strip club or a brothel. And I get that I'm gonna get called names for that. But like, you're exposing your child to sexual content at an age where they should not be exposed to sexual content. And I get that it's hard to get away from sexual content now, but you should at least try. Also, what's even worse is child drag queens, because there are, in fact, child drag queens. I'm talking younger than me. Like a child born in, I'm going to say 2006, who's a drag queen, and it has been a drag queen since, I'm going to guess, 2018. A 12-year-old drag queen going to, like, wherever drag queens go to perform. So you have your show, you have your average aged drag queen, and then up comes a 12-year-old with massive rainbow eyelashes and rainbow hair and all, dancing sexually for old men. This sounds familiar. Oh, it's Cooties in real life. This is also weird, and you shouldn't do this either. Where's the protests? How about those were two dudes with their cheeks hanging out? You'd make a whole video about it. This is also weird. I know this may seem like a foreign concept. Yeah, I keep forgetting that leftists have no idea that they can condemn the exact same weird behaviour from their own side, because that's been completely collated out of you.